Hi there, my name is Thomas Holland and you're watching Throttle House.
And this is the Hyundai Nexo, and it's powered by hydrogen.
Yeah, hydrogen. Not helium.
Oh, right. This is James Engelsman.
Okay, seriously, we've been waiting a long time to drive a hydrogen-powered car. And while they might not be useful to us in Ontario as of yet, Hyundai has flown us down to California, where hydrogen fill stations are actually available.
The Nexo, then, is a vehicle that fortunately is not nearly as forgettable as its name. In fact, if you sip the Kool-Aid of hydrogen-powered cars, they start making bundles of sense. Couple that with the luxury and grace of the Nexo, and the future seems bright. Very bright, indeed. It's modern and tech-filled, understated yet stylish. But what about the drive? While I gave the Canyon Roads a spin, Thomas took it to Santa Monica Boulevard to show the supercar drivers of LA what they were really missing.
Alright, this is the 2019 Hyundai Nexo, a fully hydrogen-powered electric car. And we're currently on Santa Monica Boulevard in LA to test this out because this is actually a pretty special car. I think that hydrogen cars electric cars are great, but they just don't have the range, and we're not quite getting the range quick enough for everyone to buy in. But this car has a very serious range number. Almost up to 600 kilometers on one fuel fill of hydrogen. And it doesn't produce anything except extra clean air. That's pretty neat, actually.
So, the Hyundai Nexo, what separates this from a normal SUV Hyundai? Well, the hydrogen part, which everyone's thinking is strange. You know, electric had this kind of weird entrance to the market with the Prius. It wasn't cool, but hydrogen is cool. In fact, NASA uses hydrogen to launch their space shuttles into space.
This is a really special car for me because I want these cars to be what the future is, because I can tell you from this seat right now on Santa Monica Boulevard, this is a really nice vehicle to drive.
One of the greatest things about hydrogen is it is the most abundant element in the universe, which is very exciting from an energy point of view, and that should make it cheap to fill up, right? Wrong. The process of extracting hydrogen, without getting too sciencey, is very difficult, and therefore it's actually pretty expensive to fill up. So when you fill this up, even in California where the imperial system is king, it's by the kilogram. So it's about $15 per kilogram to fill up, and this Hyundai takes 6.3 kilograms. So if you do the math, it's somewhere between like $80 and $100 to fill up the car for a range of about 350 miles, which is class leading. Unlike gasoline, hydrogen is odorless, colorless, and tasteless. So a little bit like Thomas's chili, if you've ever had the displeasure of trying it. But unlike Thomas's chili, hydrogen is non-poisonous and non-toxic. For you environmentalists out there, there's also a brilliant reality to hydrogen. The air comes in through the front bumper and leaves cleaner than it came in. I think the only thing this gives off is water and cleaner air. You're welcome, Los Angeles.
All right, there's a tunnel coming up. No noise whatsoever. Yeah, it's not very exciting. Moving on. The torque is immediate because it's an electric motor, so everything is very smooth and everything is very sophisticated feeling. It's quiet and it is refined.
It is very lovely. There's a smooth ride to it. It feels executive. You don't feel like you're in a Hyundai. It almost betrays the badge with the quality of the ride and the interior.
I'm not gonna, this is a pretty bold statement, but the interior of this Hyundai is the best interior that Hyundai has ever produced in any car that I've driven by them. And it is excellent. There's a ton of eco materials in here, but the thing that gets me the most are these two huge digital screens, which are very Mercedes S-Class like. And I think that they look absolutely fantastic. They're incredibly sharp. And we have this center stack of some serious buttons. It's actually a little bit confusing at first, but it's all there. Climate control, like park, drive, neutral, and all that stuff. And I have a drive mode, so I can put it in eco. Right now, I have 342 miles left in this car. I've always wanted to drive a hydrogen car. I think they're so cool. And honestly, this is such a nice car to be like my first time in a hydrogen vehicle because the seats are so comfortable. The interior is very premium. Like, these seats have this little kind of Scandinavian style, like tweed-ish look cloth on the edges, which give it a really seriously premium feel. And this steering wheel and this cluster up here are very similar to the Mercedes S-Class. Not quite in materials, obviously, but in terms of design, like the steering wheel is lovely to look at. It's got 2 spokes and there's like 2-tone leather. Everything is kind of gray and white in here, and I think it looks fantastic. This whole center stack here, well, it is a plastic, it's almost all buttons, right? So it has everything that you could need, and I can control my massive map GPS, which is a touchscreen if I want it to be as well. And from the look of it, it's very similar tech to the rest of Hyundai's stuff. So, I got a whole thing here for my fuel cell, eco driving management. I can see my energy flow. I can see my my oxygen that I'm generating, my hydrogen tank, how much is left in the battery, the motor, all that stuff. This is really neat. Wow.
There's an element of lightness to the car. Even taking these canyon corners, the car feels very stable and planted, and it feels a lot lighter than it looks from the outside. You see it as a big SUV, and I don't know whether it's because I had a small breakfast this morning, but it does feel nice to drive.
I can pull up my map at the same time. Split screen. You can see the climate control. Very good, which I can adjust down here. I've got it on auto right now. And even with the AC on and the fan running, this is a really quiet vehicle. Honestly, this thing is awesome. I hope that we can get some hydrogen stations in Canada, because, well, there are some in Vancouver, I believe, but not in Ontario, where I live. This is going to be a mostly California car, as I understand it. But I think that we need to have more of these, because these are really neat. And like the range is 341 miles is what I have left right now in this. That's just awesome. This is just a really cool car.
You can go to a Hyundai dealer and buy this car. Depending on where you live, you'll never be able to refuel it. But if you just want that one drive for many thousands of dollars, you're going to have a great time. And it's better than gambling.
James and I both really enjoyed driving the Nexo. And Hyundai even gave us a brilliant demonstration of how the Nexo can perfectly park itself, without you even having to be in the car. But the whole afternoon was slightly intruded upon by a feeling of worry. Worry about where cool technology like this will be in 10 years. This is a hydrogen car that you can actually buy, and both of us kept talking about how we hoped that more hydrogen fill stations will pop up around the globe, because the last thing we want to see is something that currently represents such a positive future potentially become a thing of the past.